How is it that some people wake up at 5 a.m. every single day and others can't get to bed without scrolling on their phone? You see, it's not willpower or motivation, it's something much deeper than that. I've personally run every single morning for the last 2,789 days straight. I've taken an ice bath every day for the last 1,089 days, and I've woken up at 5 a.m. for the last 7 years. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to unlock monk-like discipline to achieve your dream mind, physique, and routine. So what exactly is monk-like discipline? Monks have this devout dedication to their routines and their lifestyle, and this commitment really gives them a purpose in life. When you can show up to the things that you have to do, regardless of the way that you feel, that is when you know you've unlocked this monk-like discipline. So when you say, I want to start a business, when you say, I want to improve my physique, if your own self is the main thing in the way of you achieving those things, that is how you know you are not disciplined. When your mind is an asset instead of an obstacle in your own way, then you feel the confidence of somebody that has this discipline. You can set goals, you can look at things that you want to achieve in a big way and know that you are going to be on your own team in that process. You can count on yourself. You know that you are physically and mentally capable of getting to that point. Most people go through life with their own mind and self as the biggest obstacle in the way of the things that they want to achieve. This is a painful kind of life. The freedom that comes from the hard work of discipline is something most people will never get to experience, because most people think that the freedom of sitting on their ass and being a lazy person is what they're looking for, but they know deep down that they're not becoming that person that they actually want to be. Now, there's a very important concept that you must grasp if you're going to unlock this monk-like discipline, and it is the art of the override. Imagine you are standing outside and it is the coldest day of the year. Snow is coming down, there's ice on the ground, the air is blowing against your skin, and it is piercing cold. In that moment, for 10 seconds, could you pretend like you're okay? Could you look at your friend and shrug your shoulders and have this relaxed face for just a few moments while you feel that stimulus of the absolute bitter cold? See, this is the gut feeling of what it's like to make disciplined decisions. To get out of bed in the morning when you absolutely don't want to go to the gym when it's the last thing that your body wants to do, to get in an ice bath when all you want to be is nice and warm, to override the initial emotion you have and receive through the stimulus. That is true discipline. It is literally doing the thing that you don't want to do, and people make it out to be this cool thing on Instagram. But when you actually feel that in your gut, when you feel the responsibility of doing that thing and you don't want to do it, that is when you have to exercise the override. You must override the way that you feel with the behavior that you want to see yourself carry out. See, doing what you don't want to do will always feel bad. It doesn't matter how disciplined you are. It's not going to feel good. But the more you can repeat that process, the less intimidating it's going to be. Every day when I get in the ice bath, I don't want to do it. It's bitter cold. My body is not ready for it whatsoever. But I know that I've been through that process enough to where I realize that I can. I've built the data to recognize that I can overcome this. Although it's going to feel intimidating, I know that I can make it to the other side. So the actual physical stimulus is still horrific, but mentally I have the confidence to be able to overcome that thing one more time. See, your nature in this modern world is to listen to that emotion. And this modern impulse is setting you up for a bullshit life, because the person and thinking you need to be listening to is your future self. The person 2 hours from now that could be looking back on you having gone to the gym, but instead you sit on the couch. You need to ask that version of you what you ought to do, because you'll be at the tail end of that 2 hours. And if that version of you would say, I wish I went to the gym, then you go to the gym. That is your responsibility as a disciplined individual. If you listen to the impulse, you stay stuck. Now, if there is one surefire way to build discipline, it is bringing non-negotiable expectations into your day. When I wake up in the morning and I have the ice bath to do and I have this run to complete, do you think I'm questioning whether or not I'm going to do it? Absolutely not, because I have completely removed the option to quit. When the option to quit is available, you will eventually make that choice. You will. Because one day, when all the motivation and excitement has worn off, there's going to be a hardship that is heavy enough that you don't think you can do it. And when there's the option to quit, you're going to trick yourself into believing you actually can't do it. But what if that option was completely gone? What if there was no option to quit? Now you're going to figure out what you can do. Most people think that their lack of a desire to do something means that they can't do it. If I don't want to go on a run, I guess that means that I can't go on a run. And that could not be more incorrect. That is a damn near perverted way to think. Because if you want to see what you're actually capable of, you're going to remove the option to quit on yourself. You take that away completely, and then you find out exactly what you're made of. What you've got to understand here is when you say, I am going to do this no matter what, the weight of that is so heavy, the responsibility is so heavy, but the result of showing up for yourself in that way could not be more powerful. You recognize the way that you feel. You recognize that you do not want to get in the cold shower or go for the run. You allow yourself to think those thoughts, and you do not let those thoughts drive your decision. You do the thing anyways. And when you look at the data that creates within you as a person, it says, I am somebody that does what I say I'm going to do no matter what happens. This is exactly what you're looking for, because when you want to build a business or a physique or an amazing relationship, there is work to be done. And if you cannot count on yourself to get that work done, you don't deserve those goals. Now, discipline is this beautiful thing that doesn't reward you first. You have to put in tons of rewardless work to then see yourself as this disciplined individual. If the data you've created in your life is when I say I'm going to wake up early, I don't, and you have thousands and thousands of days of that being the case, do you think you're going to wake up early one day and then you're going to see yourself as a disciplined person? Maybe within that one day you will, but you've got a stack of negative data to override and overcome through creating more disciplined data. You don't get rewarded first. So you have to spend the extra energy to act like a disciplined person before you can truly look in the mirror and say, I am one. Now look, discipline doesn't mean always doing what you don't want to do. I would say it's actually more like 50%. Half of my day is doing stuff that I don't want to do, and the other half is enjoying the fact that I did those things and doing the things that I do like to do. What matters more than anything is the order. If you think that I never sit on the couch for a while, you would be mistaken. And I'm a very disciplined person, but you know what I never ever do before my expectations and promises? Sit on that couch. The hard responsibilities come first, because I will not allow the comfort to consume me before I have met the expectations that I set. That is not an option for me. So if you want to sit on your ass for 2 hours a day, that's actually not a problem. And I'm not being sarcastic. You can sit on that couch for 2 hours if you do the things you're supposed to do first. The order is ridiculously important here, because I might do the same things as somebody else. I might sit on that couch for 2 hours. I might also do the ice bath in the morning. I might go for the run. The person who decides to do those hard things first, they have the upper hand. They can count on themselves more. They have a mind that is truly monk-like and not reliant on emotions to be the driver. Now, I need to remind you of one more thing. An undisciplined mind means that you are the biggest obstacle in the way of achieving the things that you want to achieve. Think about getting to the end of your life and recognizing all of the things that you wanted to do. You didn't do any of them because of your own mind. That is a bitter experience that I absolutely do not want you to have. And there's a freedom to being a lazy person. There is. Being a lazy ass person means you can just sit on your tail all day long, eat whatever the heck food you want to eat, and just act based on your emotions 100% of the time. Pretty cool, right? However, the work that comes along with living and thinking in that way is that you have to constantly wonder what it would be like to be a better version of yourself. You have to live in this existential angst of realizing that you are not fulfilling your potential. Now, there's work to being a disciplined person. The art of the override, doing the things you don't want to do, setting non-negotiable expectations in your life. That is hard. But when you realize what it's like to have true peace of mind on the other side of those responsibilities, you will never want the freedom of being the lazy ass person. Now, obviously, I'm not going to promise that this will be easy. To actually unlock monk-like discipline in 90 days, you have to show up when, and especially when, you don't want to. It requires you to truly sit in discomfort, and it requires you to remove the option to quit. Now, what I will promise you is if you implement these things into your life, you will become a better version of yourself, guaranteed. If you do the work, you will become somebody that does not rely on motivation and cool Instagram reels to get stuff done, because you'll rely on the mind that you have built for yourself. You'll have the evidence that you can count on yourself, and that changes absolutely everything. Now look, you can know everything I've spoken about in this video, and it's absolutely going to help you, but most people's problem is not knowledge, it's the application of the knowledge. I've helped close to 100 people build unbreakable discipline in 90 days, and it's not just through frameworks and exercise, but through true change in how their mind works. If you're ready to stop quitting on yourself, book a call with me at the top link in the description. We'll speak soon.